Everyone's Charles Harris here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, and welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. This is the Lions Man Cave chat on Fridays. I've got Jake from The Roar with Jake D and Dom, the dirtiest of the dirty, from Sideline Sports. That being said, let's get into it, boys. The Lions are ranked number 1 for competition in the D-line room, according to PFF. Does this excite you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when's the last time they've had any competition across that D line, like real competition? I mean, Ziggy was there, Sue. You're talking over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Barely,
well, you're talking 3 first-round picks in what 4, 5 years. I think it was 3 out of 4. We spent first-round picks on the D line, 5 for sure. But the quality of those starters made the depth that much better, and they rotated guys in and out. That's what I'm looking at or thinking about, hoping, praying for. Just a deep D line. Like, who's the next Willie Young coming in off the bench to get a sack to essentially wrap up a game?
Yeah.
We're going to have Chicken Nugget King in here shortly.
Yeah, I told him earlier. I was like, come on, dude. I was literally just about to send him the link.
I got it. As soon as my phone quits being stupid.
Yeah, I think the D line's going to be good this year. It's all the way across the board. I think Onwuzurike makes that jump. He's fully healthy. McNeil, strongest man on the team, apparently. So he's going to be a
Lee McNeil reminds me of a little bit.
Who's that?
The baby eater, Sean Rogers.
Yep, exactly. I was thinking the same
thing. Bit, I just realized it like a few weeks ago. I was like, that's the son of the baby eater.
But with a better motor. He has a better motor when he's on it. Crazy Ken hops in and says, "What's up, guys?" Steve Bauer says, "Greetings from Flinttown." And here he is. It's Cass Jones, the Chicken Nugget King. What's up, Chicken Nugget?
What's going on? What's going on, Uncle Dom? What's going on, Jeremy?
This guy feeling real confident. No hat, no do-rag either.
Wow. I like it. Nice, clean look there. Almost as clean as this.
Feeling real confident.
That being said, there's the topic. What do you think about that, Cass? Oh, we lost Jake for a moment. Must be a Wi-Fi issue.
Man, I honestly, I really think that is a positive. That's a very big positive for us. Us being ranked number 1 for competition in the D-line room is a positive. That is a great sign for us. That is something that we should be happy about, and that's what we should be excited about.
We haven't had that since we drafted Cliff Averill, technically. And Crazy Ken comes in. Hey, Chicken.
Hello.
Everybody knows that's Smokin Jeremy B's dad.
I think outside of probably Hutchinson, which he's fan favorite. He's everybody's favorite right now. Lee McNeil is probably my favorite on that D line. He is so athletic. Like, for a guy his size, he should not have feet the way his feet are. He shouldn't be that quick.
Well, considering he was a 250-pound running back in high school, that's why he has feet like that.
And a baseball player.
Yep.
He was a baseball player too. He was an All-American baseball player. People don't realize that, but I mean, baseball players are athletes.
Yes.
And they don't get enough credit for how athletic they actually are. And I think he's going to be a force in that middle.
And you all know this has been one of my favorite players since we drafted him in the 5th round the same year we got Okudah. Okay. And I'm going to bring this up now. Some people are still sleeping on Cephas, despite the reports of him showing out during camps and OTAs. In my opinion, at worst is our 4th or 5th best receiver in the room. Where do you guys have him ranked?
He's much higher than 4th. For most of last season, even though he got hurt early, when he was playing, he looked like the best receiver on the team.
that he was the best receiver on the team. It was statistically proven. He had no drops. He had a 72.8% catch rate.
I love that he's lost in the mix and no one except us are talking about him because he's just going to go out there and ball.
Yeah, I think he's going to be right there. And he's actually, because of how he creates space, just like Amon-Ra, with his route running, he's not fast. He's just there. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Chicken
I've been
nuggets.
real hard on. I've been hard on Cephas this offseason. You guys have heard me say it. You know, I've had him as a surprise cut and stuff like that. But you know,
There's
he's
no
really
fucking way in hell he gets cut.
No way. No. I'm past that. I've backed off. You know, he's done enough. He's going to be at least the fourth receiver on the team, which I'm thinking he's going to beat out Josh Reynolds probably for that third spot. I think it's going to be the number 2.
Until Williams gets back, and then it'll move everybody down one. That's what I was getting at. With or without Williams. With Williams, he's definitely the 4th best on the roster. With Williams, without Williams, he's the 3rd
that wide receiver too, because inevitably, hopefully not DJ Chark, but DJ Chark's not going to play more than 12 games. We all know this.
I have the over-under at 10.
Yeah, I was going to say 10.
Hey there,
little
guy.
If we get 11, we're fortunate. And we might only get, and honestly, I hope we only get 7 games out of Jameson Williams because all the rest of those receivers are playing so goddamn well and chomping at the bit for snaps that we don't need to rush him back.
And Daniel F. Williams comes in and says, hey, 10 to 13 wins isn't out of the question.
This is not a show for kids. But hey, son, when Dan comes on, he brings his son on a lot. If I can ever have my kid even for a few hours without baby mama breathing down my neck, let alone like here overnight, I'll bring him on.
Absolutely. I am kid friendly, but we are not a kid friendly show. That's how I'll word it.
That part.
John I got him out like a sailor, brings up another great one. Cephas is great in the red zone.
Yeah, I agree. But with Cephas, one minor setback is not going to stop him from doing good this year. It's not. That was just one minor setback. And he's going to actually bring, a better type of game this year. And I think he's going to, be on the team this year. There's no need to, sleep on him, believing on him.
I mean,
I was hard on him.
I know you were. I put this specifically in here.
Everybody.
I specifically put this in here for you, Jake.
I know.
You know what? I hope he is only our 4th or 5th best receiver because everyone is balling out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying snaps wise and the way they're going to have to rotate people in and out because of speed and the contested catch and the difference makers that'll be on there. He's a great 4th or 5th option. He would be a 2 or 3 on any other team.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see depth at every position.
I like him in the slot too, man.
Oh,
he's got that big body. He knows how to find the soft spot in that zone.
His best
just
part,
like St. Brown.
Best part when we had Danny Amendola and Marvin Jones Jr. on the field at the same time, because Danny Amendola had to move to the 2 because of Galladay being hurt. Go figure. He was awesome as the 3. I mean, he was just like Amon-Ra, getting open, crossing routes, speeding away from people. Everybody's like, oh, he's slow. He ran a 4.7 at the combine. He dealt with the flu for 2 weeks and dropped 20 pounds is why he was slow.
Yeah. Well, and he's good in and out of his cuts. Amendola is good in and out of his cuts, and that's the same thing with Cephas. Cephas is good. He's good in and out of his cuts. You don't have to be the fastest guy. Hell, Cooper Kupp's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's always open because he runs a good, clean route.
4.65
he knows how to get in and out of them break.
4.65
might have something to do with Matt Stafford. I'm not really sure though.
Just a little bit.
And then Facebook user, which is actually Joseph Host from Lansing. Hi, Smokin Jeremy. How's it going? Just got on. Joseph from Lansing. Well, we already covered that the PFF for D-line competition ranks the Lions at number 1 in the NFL for D-line competition. That's not saying they're the best D-line. That's saying they have the most competition of any D line in the NFL. And we haven't heard that in what, almost 20 years?
It's been
At
a
least
while.
15.
The receiving core, Steve
absolutely
Bauer
been a
comes
while.
in. Receiving core, we got plus Hawkinson and Funches at TE. Goff is going to have some weapons. Yep, and I've said because Griffin is hurt, James Mitchell is still recovering from the ACL, so he's probably going to start out on the PUP or IR to start the season. And then all we got is Brock Wright. We have that Derek Deese is nursing an injury and working out as well. So he's our tight end 3 right now.
How old is Funches?
Funches is 28 years old.
28,
or will be by the start of the season.
And he's athletic. If he can get his hands under control, he could be a nice mismatch at that
He's
tight
been in
end.
the league 5 years, Dom.
Damn, that's it?
Yep. He missed 2 years. He only played 3. It feels like it's been forever.
He's a nice, tight end slot matchup monster.
And he does like to do the stand-up run blocking. So I think they're going to use him in that old split end role with the faster wide receivers in that blocking role to block on the outside for when the runs go outside like Swift and Reynolds can do.
Or chip and go on a play action.
Yep, exactly.
Like I'm okay with Devin Funchess with the ball in his hands in the open field.
Yep.
Like kicking a 5'10" corner in his dick.
Yeah. And at 6'5", 6'4", whatever he is, nice
he's a big
red
fella.
zone target. Nice red zone target. And he's got ups.
Hawkinson can be the ultimate. He could be the new Joe Fourier, really, in the red zone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has a higher vertical than Joe Fourier had. Joe Fourier was just 6'7" with a 36-inch vertical.
And long arms.
And long ass arms.
And great dancing ability. I would love to see 8 different Devin Funchess touchdown celebrations.
Yeah, that'd be great. But that being said, I don't think he'll get that many targets in the red zone per se.
He might if he earns them with the blocking.
But
everyone's going to be looking at Hawkinson.
If Hawkinson is covered like melted cheese in the end zone, he won't be.
Right. And if you think about it, like Cephas has okay size. Amon-Ra's short. Chark has good size, but they're going to be looking at Hawkinson all day, every day. So every time, please run him out there and then put Funchess on the other side.
Amon-Ra is 6'1.5" or 6'1".
Yeah.
This is 6'2". Shark is 6'4".
4. I like him in the red zone.
Jamison Williams has been measured anywhere from 6'1" to 6'2". I probably would say he's probably 6'1.5".
Right.
Because he's at that borderline of which way do we put him.
I like tall guys that can catch anything in the red zone.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How is Williams in the red zone?
Our new guy?
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he'd be much of a red zone threat.
I don't even care. He'll get us from the 20 to the 20 all day.
He's the guy that if he burns a wide receiver 10 yards out, he's taking it to the house.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's a touchdown waiting to happen.
Yep. And
anytime you get the ball in his hands, he's gone.
You have to add him into that whole kick returner room too, just because Dave Phipp put Brad Holmes on Williams because of his return ability prior to the national championship. 1 for 5. Every single kick return, 1 for 5 went to the house for Alabama.
And not to mention, he's one of those wide receivers that you can't miss on. Really couldn't miss on him. You have to go after him. Definitely a player that's going to be highlight worthy.
I'm not going to lie. The guy I wanted, and Dom knows it, even though he had a knee injury, but it was a freak knee injury. It was non-contact, just like Jamison Williams, just like James Mitchell. It was Drake London.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded Drake. He would have been a good fit in Detroit.
Just because 6'5", contested catch. You got DJ Shark. That's a true 1-2 combo right there. But having a 1A, 1B with the speed they have, I'm not mad at it either.
No.
Yeah.
I like the speed they have at receiver now. It is about damn time because there for a couple years, Hawkinson was the only one getting any kind of separation, and that's sad when your tight end is leading your team in separation.
Eric Sean, you are more than happy. I'll be more than happy to have you jump in. It's fine. We're not that far into the show.
Kenny Galladay couldn't get separation from Velcro with the jaws of life.
No. And, I got ripped apart by a lot of people. Me and Jeremy agreed with me, but I got ripped apart by so many people saying Galladay is overrated. He's not that good. The only thing he could do was make the contested catch. But when everything is thrown at you, everything's a contested catch when you can't get any separation.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Galladay ran the exact same sporty time that Cephas did at his pro day.
Yeah.
Which was a 4.56.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just got hype on Galladay, and he looked good at first. He looked real good in that one preseason game, and then real good in his rookie debut with 2 touchdowns. Yep. And I'm like, this guy's sweet, but then I'm like, oh, he can't stay healthy. Or maybe now he's healthy and it's just like, fuck it, I'm not coming back, so I'm going to sit out. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I realized it was actual, for the first time in my life, rebuild time. And I'm like, no, don't re-sign him. And don't try and get fucking Allen Robinson either.
Eric, I sent it to you via Messenger. Go look at your Messenger.
BRB.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, obviously the thing that we're definitely doing with this wide receiving core and tight ends, I think we're doing something that's a lot different than the past other seasons that we've done before. We haven't gotten guys who could get separation, guys who can have speed, guys who can have the endurance, and guys that can have the hands to actually catch the ball and not drop it in a long time. We haven't had that in a very, very long time. Let that sink in. We've actually done good in free agency and in drafting. So I think if we put all the pieces together and continue to build those pieces together, we'll be a playoff team in no time. And I don't want to say playoffs this year, but you get my point. We're going to look good. We're going to have a decent team.
If they make the playoffs this year, they'll barely sneak in.
Yep. I've said they're a 6 to 9 win team.
And I don't think they get it.
6 is the floor, because if the health train goes off the rails, they should do double what they did last year, because we have better tackling and better depth on the defense and the team.
And second year coaching.
And second year coaching. But the reason why I give them that up to 9 win window is because of the non-continuity in coaching, not only in Chicago and Minnesota. You have to remember there's a new OC in Green Bay.
That's right. I forgot about that. And I mean, they did lose Adams, and who else did they lost to? Lazard too. So they lost, his top 2 targets. I mean,
that makes there he is. And welcome to the group, Eric Sean.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, no problem. I understand. Introduce yourself to everybody and let them know about your background with following the Lions.
All right. Well, my real name's Eric Dalton. I use Eric Sean was my alter on Facebook because I spent so much time in jail. My background with the Lions, my grandfather founded an Ann Arbor radio station and TV 20 WXON. So with that being a sports station,
I took it way back. He said WXON.
I remember WXON.
Yep.
Way before my time.
And the radio station were, the radio stations WPAG 107.1 FM and 1050 AM, where the voice of Michigan football, Doug Karsh, got his start. My dad hired him. And so basically I got all the inside, and we had suites at Lions, we had suites at Tigers. I was a spoiled kid, basically. To put it truthfully, I was lucky, and I never knew how lucky I was. So I've been watching the Lions since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. But, to be honest, I've never been as excited about the team until basically the end of last year.
Right. Most exciting goddamn 3-win team. I've never been this excited. We just won 3 games. I'm fucking fired up. And I've
But-
seen some
No,
3 wins, some
it
4
was not-
wins, some
it's not
2
the
wins,
three-
some no win seasons. Bunch of 5 and 11s, a whole bunch of
Right.
those.
And that's the crazy thing. If you think back to the 0-16 year, we were competitive in all those games, even with the crappy QB play we had.
You're
Dang.
giving me PTSD,
I want to say they tied a record that year for most losses by less than 10 points or
They
7.
did. It was 7 of them. And we almost hit that last year with 5.
Good teams
Yeah, I mean,
win
We're
close
just
teams
games.
watching
win
the
close
progression
games.
of the.
We're not a good team yet. And I
we
said
were
it.
good until they got rid of Lynn calling the offense. We were not a well-coached team all the way around. We were well-coached with what we had for talent level on defense, but we weren't well-coached on offense until Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell got together and said, hey, let's fix this shit.
Short on talent, long on effort. Lost a bunch of close games. Got screwed a couple times.
Yeah, I think they're closing that gap. You know,
Yep.
they're gonna have, they're closing the gap. You have effort and talent, you're gonna win some ball games.
The thing is, we had no depth last year. Once we started having all of our starters get hurt the way we did, other than O-line, we had no depth.
It was great for the O-line.
Oh, yeah.
In retrospect, I love that all those guys got hurt. Love it.
Because it gave us
that-
people that we could sign.
Yeah, that was the thing I was excited about. We
I
had
believe
so
this
many
is
injuries.
Joseph Hopes. I think we sweep the Vikings and Bears and split with Green Bay. I think it's sweep the Bears and split with the Vikings and Green Bay. And I'll give you the reason why. We're going to win in Minnesota week 3 because they have new coaching, and there's going to be growing pains learning the offense and defense all over again. It usually takes a team with a new regime 5-6 weeks to get rolling. Once they get rolling, then they're right back to where they used to play at their talent level. We've seen it before with good teams. It takes them 5-6 weeks.
Well, even the Bears have new coaching too.
Yeah, Bears have new coaching, but they have no O-line, and with Bustin Fields there.
They got the worst O-line in football.
Yeah.
Hey, to be honest,
sweep the Packers, swept by the Bears. split
Oh,
with the Vikings.
No.
You
I can't.
watch.
yeah,
You watch.
I still think the record in the division is either going to be 3-3 or 4-2.
I'm sorry, but I think Fields is going to basically
So
have.
then we're
flipped
sweeping
there
the
and,
Vikings and the Packers and still getting swept by the Bears.
hey,
No.
I see us sweeping the Packers, splitting
Fields
the Bears
is
and
like
Vikings.
Okay, fine.
sweeping-
We lose both to the Vikings and we sweep the Bears and Packers. How's that?
Okay.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Sounds like a nice combo.
It's still 4-2 in the division,
Mm-hmm.
but I still think it's split with
In
those two.
that
and sweep
paragraph,
the
I
Bears.
heard swept and by and Bears, and it's happening.
I don't know, man. I think Hutchinson's going to eat when he plays when they play the Bears, man.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the difference maker both those
Paschal.
games.
How are you guys going to feel when Josh Paschal finishes the season with 10.5 sacks and Hutchinson only gets 10 or 9.5? You okay with that?
Yeah, and 8.5 are going to be against the Bears.
Hey, but be
Pascal's
on
not
the
gonna get-
lookout. Be on the lookout for Kirby Joseph. Be on the lookout for that kid. I think he's going to make an impact this season too.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
A lot of the draft pundits say he was the best safety in the draft.
He is a
Ben-
ball hawk.
Yeah,
That's
He
what
is
I.
a ball hawk, and that's what you're going to see. He's going to be the next ball hawk in Detroit. I mean, you going back and you look at his college back there in Illinois. He had 5 games where he had a turnover, where he had a turnover, interception, or a fumble recovery. The guy just got a nose. The kid's got a nose for the football, and it's going to continue.
Ben Smith asked a question. He's a Patriots fan that watches the show. How many touchdowns and interceptions do you think Goff is going to get? Well, with a horrible wide receiver room, he managed 19-8 last year, correct? It was 19 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
So that being said, that's a 2.1 to 1 ratio. So at 2.1 to 1, with a better wide receiver room and better play calling from start to finish of the season, as long as everyone stays healthy, I could see it being somewhere between 25 and 32 touchdowns and 12 to 14 interceptions.
I was going to say 25 and 12. 25 or 26 and 12. If he plays every game and takes almost every snap, Hopefully he gets to sit for portions of fourth quarters because they're blowing someone out because we have 300 rushing yards.
Well,
Right.
this must be somebody
Like
over there.
Swift has 180, Reynolds has 110, and Jamal Williams got hurt in the first quarter, but he already had a 40-yard touchdown run.
Yeah. Lions beat the Packers in your dreams. It may be a dream.
And in reality, sir,
It's a reality.
In reality,
you have to sacrifice
all you
2
Packer
losses to the
fans.
Bears because Lions.
all you Packer fans said your backups would beat our backups in week 18 last year. Your starters wasn't beating our backups.
And our fourth stringers beat your second stringers.
Mhm.
And we had no depth.
And Bobby Boucher didn't even play that week, and we still won.
Right. I mean,
What's
the water
wrong
boy
with
was
this
out sick.
guy's medulla oblongata. I can't with y'all.
Campbell is a loudmouth fraud. So are you, John Dorn.
Hey, look, Dorn, how many times I got to say this to you, John Dorn? Your Packers are never, ever going to sniff the Super Bowl. Just face it.
Nope.
Or they can get there and lose 2 more times like Favre and oh wait, no. Did Favre get to 2 and lose 1? Or he just won 1?
Okay, that is a completely bullshit analogy, John Dorn.
How dare you?
Nagy,
I feel better about Nagy.
Nagy never had the team talk about how good their coach is. Never.
Yeah.
Not once.
Never. And you know what? That team was
You know
lucky to make the
Dan
damn
Campbell,
playoffs.
I'm not convinced that Dan Campbell is a good coach, but you know what? He's a hell of a goddamn motivator.
And
Right.
it proves his point, and he
No,
does his
that's
best.
why we
out
have
there.
such a good coaching staff.
Look at this.
He doesn't ever have to be a good coach.
Look at
He
the
can
Patriots,
just be the
man.
motivator.
Back up stuff
Right.
that we said during the draft that Dom was upset about at the time until he actually looked into him. Jamison Williams is the best wide receiver out of that class. Agree or disagree? I agree as long as he's healthy.
Yep.
I just didn't ever think he was in play. And then we made that move, and I was like, oh my God.
I still
It
remember
scared
when
me
we were
because it
doing
was
that.
a receiver.
I still remember when we were doing the live show and David Pike started praying to sweet baby Jesus. It wasn't Malik Willis.
Oh man.
Hey, I prayed to God that it wouldn't be Malik Willis
BRB.
either. Man,
I'm not surprised. Everyone was like, "Oh, Malik Willis at number 2. Malik Willis at number 2." I'm like, no.
And he
He's
says
number 2,
Campbell is a
all right.
very good motivator. Yep, and so
you're
was
damn right he
Wayne.
is.
So was Wayne Fonts, our most successful head coach outside of Caldwell.
Like, Campbell doesn't have to be the greatest head coach as long as he has a good staff around him, and he's got a good staff around him right now.
Yep.
Aaron Glenn is a hell of a defensive coordinator. Honestly, what he did with that defense last year, I mean, with the talent level that they had, I mean, he's easily, my opinion, best defensive coordinator in the league. Because if you could do what he did with that shitty lineup, I mean, he had,
I absolutely know that. Favre went to 2 Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers has only been to 1. And yes, he won it. But guess what? He hasn't sniffed it since. He keeps losing in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was my most memorable Super Bowl, though. I will never forget that Super Bowl, no matter what. Man, I watched that over in the desert in Afghanistan. So I'll never forget that Super Bowl. And I watched a guy chug like 30 freaking Bush NAs while we were.
Campbell is just horrible at play calling. Then how the hell did the Lions beat you week 18?
Hey, to be honest with you, thank you for our serve. Thank you for your service, man. I really want to salute that, and I like that Nirvana T-shirt.
Oh,
Can't go wrong with Nirvana, man.
Yeah, Nirvana's good stuff.
But honestly, man, these Green Bay Packer fans, they really think they're gonna be Super Bowl every year. Yeah, they think that every year.
They're like Cowboy fans. Every year is our year.
Patriots?
No, Packers.
Packers and
Packers.
Cowboy fans.
Oh, Packers think every year is their year to lose in the first round of the playoffs, and the Dallas Cowboys have like no. I mean, we don't have any. They have like 2 playoff wins this century.
I mean, in all actuality, if you look at the talent level of the NFC North, it's not very much better than what has been in the NFC East for a decade.
Right.
Yeah, I even told Dorn last night.
But the Packers are much
Packers are the
better than
Cowboys.
any NFC East team for the last 10 years. The rest of them not so good, but like the Vikings have had some good teams. Like, when was there a second good team in the NFC East in the last 10 years? There hasn't been one good team.
Yeah, there was. The year the Philly won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was actually a good team.
Okay.
That was a good team.
All right. Like, Dallas had a couple, you know.
Big Dick Nick just got it going.
12, 13 win seasons, but they flamed out because Dak.
Ben Smith, the Patriots fan. Campbell is an experienced head coach. He coached for the Dolphins when filled in for Joe Philbin after he got fired. But in my words, it's Dan Campbell is just learning the playbook last year. Yeah, it took him 10 weeks to take over play calling. And all of a sudden we go with our starters, with our starting quarterback. We went 3-2-1 in those 6 games after he took off.
Was he the best play caller? No. But did he get better every single week? Yes, he did. And that's what you want to see. You want to see growth. You know, say whatever you want about Campbell. You know, he's a gimmick. I've heard everything about Campbell. He's a gimmick. He's a meathead. All this other crap. Campbell's a lot smarter than
he is. I don't care. He doesn't even have to be a good head coach.
He asked Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jameson Williams. Well, they're two very different wide receivers. That's comparing apples to watermelons and expecting it to be the same. You can't do it. Amon-Ra is a slot route running receiver that gets separation with his great route running and his burst, whereas Jameson Williams is pure speed and a true number 1 once he gets healthy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Brown, strictly slot receiver, man. I mean, he can play on the outside a little bit, but he does his best work in the slot, beating linebackers, beating safeties because he's runs a good.
Won't even need him on the outside.
Nope. Sure won't. I don't want him on the outside. I don't want him on the outside.
Williams comes back. Let's say Reynolds isn't the big security blanket everybody thought he was because of how good everybody else is. Shark, Williams, Amon-Ra, and Cephas as the 4 wide receiver set.
And you got Hawkinson.
Then you got Hawkinson and Swift
Hawkinson, who
and Swaggy.
I expect to lead the team in catches. He fucking better. If it's not Amon-Ra.
Oh,
Hawkinson
and I
needs to stay healthy.
I mean, honestly,
to stay healthy this year.
They should, if they're both healthy, they should have 200 catches between them.
And Favre did go to 2 Super Bowls. Let's clarify that. He just lost.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but one thing I really want to piggyback off of, back about the Ali McNeil thing, that dude was healthy the whole year.
Yep.
He played a lot of games last season too. The piggyback back off how we started talking about Ali McNeil earlier. So I definitely wanted to mention that. But also,
when did he get his first sack? It was on Ben Roethlisberger. Why? Levi Onwuzurike was finally playing healthy.
Yep.
He had somebody dominant at DN next to him that allowed him to get freed up. And lo and behold, what did he have? 3 sacks last year?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them was when Levi was healthy next to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Levi's not bad either.
And Levi looks ripped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A whole lot better than what he was last year.
Yep. He's ready to fuck people up.
Well, it's that time of the show where I'm going to go ahead and give some credit to the people that helped me pay the bills for the show. First off, it's A1 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you, 1 in Cucaulin on Old Cucaulin, 1 in Bay City on Broadway, 1 in Saginaw on Genesee Street. Stop in and check us out. Genesee Street is where I work, and Dom DeRubis can tell you we have excellent prices on new tires as well as used tires.
New and used. That's a fact. Worth the drive. And that steak dinner was fire.
And then my good buddy, Dan Leonard, he has Mad Labs Creations, custom creations. what they
looks
actually
a
do,
lot like Dan Leonard, but he doesn't have that much hair.
right? What they do is they do custom paint jobs on the mini helmets that people get signed for sports memorabilia. He has some really cool ones. I can't wait to get my Jay Jetta because he did a custom drip paint job on that Flash, and it looks hot. And I can't wait to see what he does with the Penei Sewell and Aiden Hutchinson.
Did you see the one, Jeremy? Did you see the ones Brandon Cook had done?
Yeah, they're sick.
Oh, that man! I want that chrome one.
Okay, now I got a two-part one here. A two-part tag here, and I'll leave it on the question at the end. Tackling was the biggest problem stopping the run after Okudah and Flowers were injured. Both were great at setting the edge in the run game, yet improved from the year before. Yet everyone the Lions signed or drafted, they do not have tackling as a question mark in their profiles. Do you expect the team to be better at that because of it?
Of course. Yeah,
100%.
not only that, more
My
fundamental.
only
playing.
concern is Annalise diving at ankles.
Yeah, I hope he loses that.
Well, if he gets a ponytail, maybe he can wrap it around their ankle.
Oh, there we
that
go.
we
Facebook
important that we
user
make-
says Green Bay beat the Pats and lost to Denver last year. Or is that talking about Super Bowls?
I think Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But as for tackling,
Yeah.
we really had slack. We slacked at that a lot.
We got a hot take coming in from Ben Smith, the Patriot fan. Aiden Hutchinson is the next TJ Watt.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a bold statement there. And that's coming from somebody that's not a fan of the team.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Patriots fan.
I hope you are too.
I don't know just yet. I don't know about that.
I mean, honestly, I'd be happy with the next Jared Allen.
I'd be happy, with, the next Cliff Averill.
Or be the first Aiden Hutchinson.
James Burgess makes the first off-ball linebackers have something to prove with tackle. He's not worried about the edge. I agree. But overall, we signed Chris Board, that's a solid tackler. The Baltimore Ravens wanted him to be a starter. They were trying to re-sign him, and he decided to come here to play for Campbell and Aaron Glenn. You got Deshaun Elliott, another guy that's a solid tackler, but has dealt with some health concerns. And it hasn't been from how he tackles. Most of it has been non-contact injuries, other than the concussion he had his second year. So I think we got better at tackling. I mean, Tracy Walker's a solid tackler. Okudah's coming back, who is actually one of the best tacklers on the team. Period.
Hell, it can't get any worse.
Well, Okudah was not a bad tackler to begin with. He was a great tackler. His coverage skills is what needed to be coached up. But he played 10 games with the coaching staff that can develop a Polaroid picture.
They left
Yeah,
him
that's
on
one of the
an
reasons why I said he could switch over to safety is because his tackling is elite. I mean, he has no fear.
I think it's a little early to switch him over.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would have said that too.
A complete wash.
Facebook user, how about TJ, brother from the Steeler, DN? That's who he is. Are you talking about Derek Watt? I thought he was a fullback.
Talk about JJ Watt.
JJ Watt is actually a Cardinal.
JJ is the Houston, now Cardinals, DN. He said TJ, he meant Pittsburgh.
Man,
I was thinking JJ when he said TJ, and I'm like,
no, he said
JJ Watt's a Hall of Famer. TJ Watt's on his way.
I hope Hutchinson can be JJ Watt, a healthy JJ Watt.
Heck, I'll take
I'd be happy if he was TJ Watt for 5 years.
Right.
I think Aiden's gonna be a stud, dude. I think he's gonna actually go out there and work his ass off.
I say he's going to end up with more sacks than Chase Young did his rookie year. Chase Young only had 7.5 sacks. And the reason why I say that is we play one team that has the worst O-line in the NFL, which is the Bears. And then we play the third worst O-line in the NFL, which is the Jags.
Hutch reminds me of Joey Bosa.
He actually tested better than the Bosa brothers, both of them.
Oh yeah,
More athletic than both of them. I mean,
it
so
wasn't even close.
with his drive, with the way that kid works, like he's gonna be something. He wants to be great, and you can see it. Every week.
Absolutely.
And that's what it takes. You got to want it. You got to want to be great in the NFL.
And the fact, I love the fact that our best sack guy last year, even though it wasn't much, it was 7.5 sacks. Charles Harris has been helping to mentor him on how to beat offensive linemen because he actually figured it out last year.
Yeah. Charles
Facebook
Harris,
user
does
says Hutch could get 7 to 9 sacks for sure. I think he's going to end up with 8 to 10, and most of them being against the Bears.
I tell you
Just
what,
saying.
one thing is going to be a big thing.
Against the Bears.
One thing is going to be big for the Lions. Their strength and conditioning coach is one of the best in the NFL.
Yep. The new regime that came in, everybody looks jacked on the team. Swift, who actually worked out not only with them, but also with his dad, who's a bodybuilder. Kind of like I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Yeah, add into the fact that we're 2.5 years younger than the next young team.
That, like, Mr. St. Brown, that guy looks like a fucking murderer.
Right?
He looks like he was chiseled out of ebony.
Yeah.
Right?
As where that sun god he is.
You know where that guy fits? Wherever the hell he wants to.
Right. And I loved it. I just watched a little clip where they were asking what guys were doing for the holiday weekend. The only guy that said, I'm staying here and working to get better was Derek Deese, the tight end that we picked up as a UDFA.
Nice.
Well,
he's actually staying at Allen Park instead of going out for the weekend. Michael Brocker says, I'm taking the Twins fishing. Well, great for him. Maybe he's going to hang out with Frank the Tank in Great Outdoors.
Right? Dude, I'm about to reach out to that guy, man, see if we can do some fishing together.
Yeah.
He should do that, man.
I want to go deer hunting with him.
That too.
Brockers, make sure you break both his legs while you're fishing with him so he can't play anymore.
I'm talking about Frank the Tank.
Oh, Frank. Oh, for sure.
As long as they don't try to put freaking Brockers at nose tackle, I'll be okay.
They won't.
He didn't have a stellar season at all at the nose tackle at all.
Hell, he's not a nose. He's not a nose.
He just wasn't.
That's not his position, Like
what he was racking up stats playing next to Aaron Donald.
James, we agree on the Bosa comment there.
True.
We're not ahead of ourselves. We're just basically going what he did on his pro day, beat them, and he has a motor. He's a no quit, and his dad was no slouch at U of M either.
Hey, quick question for the panel. If Aaron Glenn leaves to be a head coach, right, who do you guys want as the next DC?
Probably Aubrey Pleasant. It would be an easy step up. He's on the team already.
Yep, I agree.
Pleasant. I'm actually more worried about him leaving than I am Aaron Glenn at the moment. I feel like he's gonna he can get snatched up to go be a coordinator somewhere.
Dad pipes in and says, my dad pops in and says, great show, guys, but I gotta go.
Bye, Dad.
John Robinson says, key coaches this year, Todd Wash, Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, and Kelvin Shepard. If they succeed, 9+ wins. It's a possibility. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen. I still say it's at 6 to 9 wins tops.
I think that Kelvin Shepard has more pressure on him.
Yep. If we have no injuries, they catch fire. That's how I see 9 wins.
Yeah. Otherwise,
I'm worried about the linebacking core. So,
but
I'm worried about the linebacking core.
We're deeper at outside linebacker and DN. It's the middle linebacker that we're worried about. But Malcolm Rodriguez, because he was picking up the playbook so good the last day of the team OTAs, and I'm not talking about the rookie ones, he was actually got the green dot to call the plays for the defense and did well against the first stringers.
Kelvin Shepard said he is the smartest football player he's coached at such a young age.
Yeah, I
You know?
actually watched. I actually watched that Tim 20 when that Tim 20. God damn it, I messed up his name.
Tim 20
Tim 20
20
man.
man.
Tim 20 man.
20
His
man.
interview with Kelvin Shepherd was so decent, and he hit it right on the head. That Malcolm Rodriguez is a smart kid, and he could tackle pretty well. So
Yep.
I
He
think,
was a wrestler.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's
So
very
that means
aggressive too. Very
he
aggressive.
not only does he know leverage, he knows how to make himself small.
So
Because
with
that's a
him being
key
out
part
there,
in being a state champion wrestler. Because if
Being a
you're in
state
that
champion
down
wrestler helped,
position,
and
you
he's
got to
a
know how to make
workout
yourself
warrior.
small to get out.
Maybe he knows how to tackle.
yeah.
Oh.
So with him being out there with those first stringers, it's gonna give him some motivation.
He was one of the good
Without him,
Lord.
that Oklahoma State
Look at
defense
these
was trash.
bots.
That OK State defense was trash without him. He made that defense.
Yes,
The
he did.
difference is, if he would have played for Bama or Georgia or any other, even Michigan, any other big school that was decent, he'd have gone in the first round.
Oh
he,
no,
he had Spencer Rattler for breakfast in that game.
Rodriguez, James Burgess comes in and says Rodriguez can ball out on special teams too. He's an absolute crusher coming downfield like that. Yes, he is.
Yeah, the guy's got crazy speed, man. You know, he reminds me of this kid I used to play football with. He actually went and played semi-pro ball out there in Oklahoma for a while. He's a cop out there now. But they're about the same size, the same build, and both of, like, I mean, just fast. They love to hit, love the game of football, and they're just going to beat you and continue to beat you until you can't take it no more. He's a hammer, and everyone's a nail.
And now I'm going to get to the inflammatory subject with Lions fans. We're going to talk a little bit about Jared Goff.
Ooh.
This is a make or break year for Goff, in my opinion. They have built this offensive roster very similar to the 2018 Rams minus Gurley, including using game film to bring his best plays in. If he doesn't improve, is it time to move on in 2023?
Only if we can get some draft capital for him. If he has a bad year, then might as well just stick with him for one more year.
I agree, yet I disagree, because we can clear $10 million in cap just by cutting them and then picking up a decent vet and then drafting somebody. That gives us that option.
There's not many decent ones that are really going to be open after next year. This year was a big free agent year.
You could get the next version of Jared Goff with a head case problem. You could get Baker Mayfield.
I think he's actually going to be dumped somewhere before then.
I think he will too. I think if they haven't gotten a trade offer by week 6, he'll be. Yeah, Bob Quinn's trying to get him to stay, from what I understand.
Bob Quinn will trade him for a bag of chips.
No, that's not true. The asking price was high. That's why the Seattle backed off and just said, "Screw it, we're going to run with
well, yeah, but that's
Drew Lock and Geno Smith."
That's Bob Quinn's modus operandi: is ask high, then end up going extremely low.
The way I see it with Goff, I know a lot of Lions fans don't have that much faith in him, but I do. So I'm going to give him a chance. I'm not just going to, get mad at him and yell at him just yet, but I'll give him a chance.
The biggest thing with me that made me a Goff fan, it was the end of the season. We won some meaningful games against good teams at the end of the season. We have never been able to say that even with a winning record before.
Yep, he got his confidence because he finally had a real offensive line in front of him. The Rams then, they had some weak spots even in 2018. So occasionally he had to run for his life.
Well, 2018 was a top 10 O-line. It was 2019 after they lost a couple players and they had to bring up their backups. And that's why his numbers decreased so much. And then the whole thing came out in the team chat and the stuff about on Instagram. McVay's girlfriend was sending all of her lingerie and bikini pictures to Jared Goff on the team. That's going to make your coach a little jealous of you.
Especially when you vocally say to people, yeah, I'd lay pipe.
Yeah, that's pretty flirtatious of her.
Yeah, I'm high on Goff. You guys, I mean, Jeremy's heard me talk about him. I've been high on Goff since we got him. Is he Stafford? No, he's not Stafford because he's not a gunslinger like that. You get him a solid run game where he can play off play action and get him into rhythm, and he can pick you apart. He's accurate. He throws a good tight spiral. He's not that bad. And people talk about like he shouldn't even be in the league, and that's not right. The dude is good. Dude, solid.
I mean, the touchdown interception ratio matches all of the good quarterbacks in the league last year, minus Aaron Rodgers, who had that exceptional year.
I mean, Goff finished the year, in the last 6 weeks, Goff finished the year as the top 3 quarterback. If he can continue to play like that, the team's going to win games.
Out of those 3 wins, twice he was FedEx Air Player of the Week.
Yep.
Yeah. Once he got his confidence back and faith in the offensive line and faith in the receivers, he was a totally different quarterback in the first 10 games.
And I was a guest on another show when we did a talk about Goff, and a commenter made a great analogy about mojo with quarterbacks. It's funny when quarterbacks get their mojo back, it comes back tenfold of what they had before.
Even when you saw him pre-game, the first 10 games, he kind of had a shoulder slump. Once he got his mojo back, like you said, he held his head high.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't rattle him. And even as great as Stafford was, once he gets rattled, you don't know what you're going to get.
It's true.
The difference is Stafford could throw the ball deep.
James, the whole comment, it started with the previous one that I showed. If he doesn't improve last year, heck yeah. But I guarantee he'll be more like the last 6 games Goff than early season Goff. If something amazing drops in our lap, then great. But I genuinely expect Goff to be our QB for a long while. He might be more Troy Aikman and less Ken Stabler, but he can throw accurately 40-plus yards past scrimmage. Not many plays in the playbook go further, but Hail Mary.
Yeah, that whole notion about him not being able to throw the deep ball is a bunch of crap.
And this comment's great. This comment's great. Remember when we were for the first part of last season, we were the island of misfit toys.
Still are the island of misfit toys, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, that secondary is still full of young UDFAs, and guys you don't expect. Outside of Detroit, who was impressed with like Amani Oruwariye?
I was actually.
I was. I liked him. I
with Jerry Jacobs.
He's actually. I'm going to talk about this comment right here. John Martin, Goff will be throwing to next week with Hawkinson, St. Brown, and building chemistry. He's actually already been throwing with them because they used Jared Goff as the QB and all of the wide receivers that were healthy at the time, which included when we signed Shark, to help Okuda with his recovery.
Yeah.
We all saw the videos. He was staying step for step with Shark, a 4.36 guy. 4.36 was actually the combine 40 time that Okuda ran when he was drafted. He was clocked in his rehab at 4.32. So he's actually gotten faster after an Achilles injury. How the hell does that happen?
Hey,
he's an alien.
Right. I got high hopes for Okuda this year, man. I got high hopes. If he's healthy, he can play. He can play. Aubrey Pleasant's working with him. Aaron Glenn working with him. I say, man.
And they said he's been like a sponge with the playbook.
Yep, sure has.
The past 2 years, the past 2 seasons, he had some down years, but I think this is the year that he's going to break through. I think this is the year he's going to.
You can't say it was a down year last year. He played 3 quarters.
The poor kid, I honestly has probably had the worst luck because the cornerback, CB1 is probably one of the toughest, positions in the NFL outside quarterback to learn when you first come into the NFL. And we're in COVID year. There's no OTAs. There was hardly much preseason. He was hosed. and that's where the rookies learn the most.
Yeah, because
they're
everybody was like,
tackling.
okay, we signed Desmond Trufant, which I knew he was going to get hurt, but I didn't think it would be so soon. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's good. Okuda can be the 2 or 3 then.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
when he
and
did play the
that-
2 against not elite wide receivers, when he played the 2 and occasionally at nickel, and you look at his numbers, they weren't bad that year with no coaching whatsoever.
But
Yeah, the
freaking
best
Patricia
analogy
kept
I
sticking him out on a damn island when you're going up against, Hopkins and, Devontae Adams,
Adams.
the
Yeah.
top receivers in the league. And everyone's mad because he's not, locking them down because he was drafted so high. But damn, man, give the kid a break.
Yeah,
You know,
well, the
that's
best
because
analogy I heard with this whole thing is when you buy a fish at a store, your first thing you're supposed to do is put the bag in the tank to acclimate it. No, we took the fish and threw it right in hot water and expected to survive.
Yeah, in a hot spring.
but
And
that's
Bo
because
Gagrius comes in and says, yo, ain't seen you for a minute, brother. We've been talking a lot of Lions. And now we're at my favorite part of the show. This is where I get to have fun. This is where I allow the viewers to come in and ask whatever the hell they want. Because it's fun when they do that. So ask the panel, guys, whatever you want to ask. Oh, you got to run, Jake?
Yeah, I got to
It was great to have you. Check out The Roar with Jake D on YouTube. It's a great show.
Yeah, I'll be back on. I'll have another video drop by Monday. So I'm going to be back on the show. So, all right. You guys have a good one.
You have a good one, man.
And Facebook user says, great show, guys. Got to run. That's fine. Well, Eric, what do you want to talk about? We've done all my topics. It's an open panel right now.
I mean, honestly, I'll just make a statement. Just watching, the last year, all the UDFAs and rookies, and this year's UDFAs and rookies, I never if we had a month of Sundays, would I ever have thought Brad Holmes was going to be this, insanely good. I mean, even if next year he only picks 3 winners, he's still ahead of the league.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Bo Gagrius comes in and says, been working a ton, finally got a night off. Glad you came to join us. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, it's like yeah, I mean, Holmes is the main reason why I'm so excited. People talk about Dan Campbell. Well, Dan Campbell's still right now the X factor, kind of like we really don't know what we have because we had nothing last year. We had a MASH unit, but every single rookie played better by the end of the season. So I'm excited about the staff that Campbell has around him. So I'm not even judging Campbell yet. But I'm gonna give him all season and all benefit of the doubt. See what happens.
Like I said, the floor for me is 6 wins.
I'm exactly saying there. You and I have talked about this multiple times.
Yep. And I still say if they stay healthy and catch fire, there's no reason why they can't win 9 and backdoor into the playoffs.
Yeah. And next year, my floor is 10 wins, but that can change based on what this season does. I mean, we hope we have some, major diamonds in the rough. And if we do, that can change everything for next year.
Right. James Burgess, what's your ceiling, floor, and actual guess where we finish? And what record would you consider completely unacceptable? Anything less than 5 wins is completely unacceptable. We no longer have a section of the newspaper thin of talent for depth. We're at a novella now. We still got some areas that are weak. That's fine. You're going to have that when you're in a rebuild. And that is why I have that window of wins from 6 to 9. But I think the record will probably end up being 8 and 9.
I concur with that. I don't unsee that. But like I said, you and I agreed 6 wins, the floor.
Yeah. If they don't win at least 6 games, I'd want to tear it to the studs again.
I don't know if I'd go that far considering how young we are.
Well, as far as there's certain starters that would have to be gone.
Right.
Aging ones.
which we don't really have many left.
We have Brockers.
Yeah, I actually think he's probably gone after this season, anyways.
I hope we're doing so good all the way around. We use him as trade bait.
Yeah, we can if he's doing well. Yeah, we could definitely get something for him. At least a 5th rounder.
James Burgess says pretty similar here. I expect 7. 5 would be barely acceptable disappointment. Anything over 7 is caramel topping and sprinkles.
The only way I would accept five wins is if something happened to Goff. That's the only way.
Yeah, if something happens to Goff, we may not win a game.
Yeah, true. Of course, we could always pick somebody up off the waiver wire. Somebody
right.
that's we could pick somebody that's serviceable because Blau.
Well, their season's over. You could always go to USFL route and pick up Eric Barriere, the UDFA I wanted for QB.
Yeah, actually, I quite a few of my Facebook Lions friends mentioned Barriere multiple times.
I mean, any kid in one game that can rush for 150 yards, throw for 500, and have 8 total touchdowns in a game, I don't care what level of competition you're playing at, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he's highly talented.
Well, I do see us having a worst case scenario of 4 wins. But the highest scenario, the best case scenario is a 8-9 season. That right there is a better case scenario than to say we're going to get 12 or 11. So, I mean, if you look at the talent that we're being built with Holmes, we got a chance of being an 8-9 team.
He is building this team just like the 2018 Rams, minus having a Gurley, a bell cow back. That's all he's missing. If we had a bell cow back, like, God forbid if we actually would have took Jonathan Taylor instead of DeAndre Swift a few years ago.
It'd have been a different
God
story.
forbid.
It'd have been a different story.
I don't think we'd have had as bad a season because the offense would have been running the ball more.
Well, we didn't have an offensive line really then, so who knows if Jonathan Taylor'd still be alive.
True. But he has that Derrick Henry quality prior to last season, that beast mode, per se, like Marshawn Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree.
He's been pretty durable.
I agree on that basis, but like I said, all we had is, Ragnow.
Well, while we had Vitae at right tackle, it was abysmal that last year with Stafford. As soon as we moved him to guard, he looked tremendously better.
Well, yeah, because he didn't have to think as much.
Well, good guard play makes your tackle play better.
Yep.
Think about this. We had good guard play next to Penei Sewell with Jonah Jackson. He got hurt a little bit. Taylor Decker comes back. Ragnow's gone. Evan Brown, Tommy Kramer, Vitae, and Sewell. And they ended up being a top 15 O-line with 2 players hurt, 2 starters every flipping game practically. We only had 4 starters on the field for 2 games.
Yeah, it's nice having a Swiss Army knife named Penei Sewell.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody thought it was stupid to move him back to right tackle. I was like, no, it was probably the best thing that could have happened to him because he went up against elite talent and did well, and then gets moved to the other side where the talent level drops and did fantastic.
He literally could play both positions. Easy.
Right. And that's why I hope Obina Eze does great and stays with the team on the active roster because he is an excellent replacement for Matt Nelson. Size, arm length, footwork. He has all of it compared to what Matt Nelson has. Matt Nelson, yeah, he's supposed to be a swing tackle. He swung like a door, so letting people through last year, whereas he did great against Khalil Mack the year before, but Khalil Mack wasn't the Khalil Mack we used to face.
Man, Khalil Mack used to be a beast, man. Now he just lost touch.
No, it has to do with the whole thing. When you're playing for a coaching staff you don't want to play for, you don't play well. That's just like Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, prior to that season, was one of the top 10 for wide receiver separation. You know what he was last year? Dead last out of 184 wide receivers.
And that's not good. That's not a good look.
No, not at all.
Not even one bit.
And that is why I have hope going forward. We don't have Allen Robinson over there with the Bears. All they got is Darnell Mooney, and I think he's going to have that same thing happen to him that happened to Juju. Juju became the number one wide receiver and fell apart, started getting hurt, couldn't do it. Without AB on the other side to take the pressure off of him, he crumbled. Now he goes and he's the number one wide receiver for the Chiefs. Is the cream gonna rise to the top, or is the shit gonna float to the bottom? I mean, that's where it's at.
It's true. You know, I kind of wish Fabio Zalone would shave his head. We'll see if he's the opposite of Samson.
And James Burgess, you just hit the nail on the head. Evan Brown was a godsend last year. Quality backups on the O-line are so valuable. And then he said Khalil Mack is also a case in point for why I like rotating D-lines. He was racking up 900 snaps a season with the Bears. Would Mack have been more effective playing around 650 to 700 snaps instead? Absolutely. Who wouldn't be? Especially as you're getting older. More rest means fresher legs. Fresher legs means you're able to do more. And that's why I think he's going to fit well with the Chargers that has a nice round room to be able to rotate him in and out.
Yeah, the way they were playing Khalil Mack, it's the only place to get gas is because he was getting gassed all the time.
And James Burgess says exactly. And who knows? Michael Brockers playing only a third of the snaps he played last year because he had to play a lot of snaps because we didn't have anybody else healthy at that position. He might even do better this year too. And I hope he does. And I hope we're doing so good with everybody else. He becomes trade bait and we get more than a sixth rounder back for him because he's doing well.
Yeah, we definitely would trade with Cleveland because, you know, Quinn would definitely bite on something stupid.
I mean,
I
knowing
got a
Bob
bag
Quinn,
of chips and a fountain pop. Give me Baker.
knowing Bob Quinn, he does make stupid trades.
Well,
Yes, he does.
he makes stupid trades with players that want out. He asks the moon, doesn't get it, and then he'll take whatever low ball offer they give him. Quandre Diggs, 5th round pick.
Ugh.
Darius
Don't
Slay,
remind me of that.
5th round pick. But that 5th round pick that we got for Slay turned into something amazing, who's our CB1 right now, and that's Amani Oruwariye.
Yeah, but that's because we turned it into something, not because Quinn did.
No, that's because he worked with Aubrey Pleasant. But he was the bright spot out of that draft that year, other than Cephas.
Yeah, I think Bob Quinn was sick that day.
I think Matt Patricia goes, we're not letting him pass. You don't pick him, you're fired. Oh, James Irvin says, hey, guys, fun as hell as always. I got to fly. Time to kick my friends' asses at darts. We'll have fun shooting darts there, buddy. That being
Easiest
said,
way to kick their ass is aim for their ass.
James Burgess also comes in. Hasta la vista all. Catch you soon, Jeremy. Thank you, James. That being said, I think we pretty much hit the end of the show. Unless, Cass, you want to add a final note on your end?
Yes. August 6th, BS2, Blunt Sessions 2, I will be performing live. I will be there August 6th at California. So to all y'all out there, yeah, to all y'all that are hip hop heads or big hip hop fans, get ready for that show. That's gonna be one hell of a show. Tickets are on sale right now. Big shout out to Young Philly Blunt. This is gonna be a great occasion, so check that out if you're in the California area. Location will be in my inbox if you want it, so I'll let you guys know.
Hey, also post that on YouTube, your show.
Oh, definitely, I will.
Yeah, because I'll watch it.
Oh, definitely, I'll post it on live. I'll definitely do a live stream for that.
Yeah, I'll watch it too.
That
Good luck,
being
man.
said, I'm going to end it the only way I know how. You know, there's been a lot of things going wrong, and I want to touch on something right now. The opiate thing is getting out of control. That James Ferguson that passed away, it was found it was a fentanyl and cocaine mixture that killed him. And this is a horrible thing that's going on right now. If you need help, reach out. There's all sorts of helplines for addiction problems and stuff like that. Please, please get the help you need. We have too many young people dying over stupid stuff. I'm glad I wised up at 25 years old. I became clean at 30 years old. And here I am, 21, almost 22 years later, still kicking it. Living proof it can be done. That being said, every day I would like everyone that watches this show and any of my friends that watch us strive to be a better person than the way you were the day before, because that's going to make the world a better place.
I agree. I mean, I just had a talk with a young kid that was having a bad day today. And I said, look, I can tell you, man, personal experience. You choose what day you're having. I have every right to be angry at the world. I have no parents left, no brothers left. You know, I could be angry at the world, and I'm, you know, at 45, I had no siblings, uh, uncles, aunts, nothing. But I took the perspectives of my wife. Her whole family's still alive, and she's from a big family. And look, like, hey, maybe this was karma was meant to basically, or God was told me that I needed to be strong for her when she experienced loss. Everything is about the perspective you take in life. You choose to be angry. You choose to be pissed off. Anything else like that. Happiness is a choice too.
Yep. Until you learn to love the person back in the mirror, it's hard to have a good day.
Exactly. And it's like, everybody has a bad day, but you know what? Make your bad day 30 seconds. And that's it. And realize that everything else around you is beautiful.
Ed Bogagria says, later, guys. Hope to catch your future shows in praying. So my heart goes out to the Ferguson family and the Ravens Nation, because that's a horrible way to lose a young person.
Terrible.
And it happens more and more every day. Also, veteran suicide is at a higher rate than it was last year. And that's horrible.
And being a vet, that hits me hard, seeing that.
It hits me hard too. I mean, I'm a vet. There's plenty of times where I thought about it. I'm not going to lie.
It crosses everybody's mind.
But you know what? I look at who I'd hurt if I left.
Exactly, because just doing that is a selfish move. It's everybody has pain. Just realize, like I said, even when you're in pain, find something positive. Even if something's small, like, oh, hey, your rose bush is blooming, anything. You just find something small. Well, thanks, Jeremy. It was a great show. Sorry I came in late.
Oh, that was fine. I enjoyed talking to you and seeing you face to face for a change. It's nice. I love this interaction on a live show because I get to talk to the viewers. I get to talk to you guys. We get to talk about our favorite team. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of good to talk about over the last 30 years.
No, not at all.
I mean 7 playoff appearances and 1 fucking win. Right. That's all we got.
My biggest thing is like, I've told several people, and I know I've said this to you. The last 30 years, we've been rooting for a player, not a team.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a sad place to be. Yeah. I'm going to watch Barry tonight, not the Lions. I'm going to watch Megatron tonight, not the Lions. I'm going to watch Stafford tonight. It's like now we actually have a team that we can root for.
Absolutely.
It's like, we're not going to do anything major this year, but I tell you what, we're going to be dangerous next year in 2024. Oh, we're going to kick ass and take names.
I think we're going to be kicking ass next year. That's my opinion. I think that next year
Oh,
we're kicking ass. I'm talking in
I think so.
2023. I think it's going to be a great year.
Well, I think so. There's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be looking at their schedules like, oh shit, we're playing the Lions in Detroit this weekend.
Especially if these rookies hit as well as I think they will. And I mean as picks, not as a player. I'm not going that far yet. I'm saying if they're as good as what it looks on paper, it'll be no more the paper Lions like we've always heard. Every year we look at the roster, oh, it looks good on paper.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I concur 100%. It's like why I say next year we're gonna be dangerous. It's like we're gonna do something in the playoffs. I don't think that's our Super Bowl year. 2024.
I just think we're gonna break. I just think
us.
we're gonna break hearts this year. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna win against some teams that nobody thinks we have a chance at, and I think it starts week 1.
Well, I think next year we're gonna break Green Bay's heart and actually win the division. Now, do I think we're gonna win 2 playoff games? No, that's
possibly.
Iffy,
possibly.
But I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl.
No.
And I don't think we're going to win the bye next year. So, but 2024, I think everybody's going to be scared shitless of this team.
I think there's a lot of teams that are scared already just because of how tough we played everybody.
Oh, like I said, I agree.
With nobody's on the roster.
Yeah, we're going to take people. Like if Minnesota thinks that they're going to get the wild card game, no, we're going to end their wild card hopes.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's where we're at. We're gonna like you said, we're gonna ruin people's days.
And if Josh Allen plays like he did when he went to New Orleans, we got a shot.
Right.
I'm just saying. Josh Allen in New Orleans that year, it was horrible.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I think he threw 3 picks in the game and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I think I recall you're right. But,
it was. I mean, granted, that was his sophomore year, but that was the first year without Anthony Lynn with Brian Dabble as OC. But that was when he was fixing his mechanics too. But he still has a lot. He has a lot of upside. He has a big, deep arm. He's great athletically, but he still has interception issues.
Yeah, he does. He gets happy feet sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes he runs a tad too soon.
Yep, exactly. It's like that's when he gets himself in trouble because then he tries. Oh, I think I'm Brett Favre when you're not Brett Favre.
I mean, he's probably got one of the strongest arms in the NFL, like Brett Favre had back then. He's up there at that Stafford, Mahomes, Rodgers arm level at least.
Having a cannon, but when Brett Favre was a totally different animal, where he could run and throw like across his body and still be pinpoint. Josh Allen isn't that person
yet. He's still young in his career, and he's progressing exactly like Favre did after Lynn left.
Yeah,
if you look at it, he's progressing just like Favre did.
Yeah, because Favre in Atlanta
after Lynn left, after Lynn was fired as OC, he's progressing just like Favre did.
Yep. Yeah,
they're winning lots of games, they're getting to the playoffs, and they're just not getting to the finish line. That's what Favre was doing there in Green Bay there for a long time till they got to the Super Bowl.
Atlanta too. Yeah,
Atlanta, he was buried on the depth chart. He'd come in, he'd throw a few touchdowns, but he'd throw a bunch of picks.
Yep.
Well, guys, it's been a blast. Thanks for choosing Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. Thanks to all my guests, Dom DeRubis of Sign Line Sports, Chicken Nugget King of Chicken Nugget King Sports 586, Eric Sean of Schwann's Delivery Service, and also his family that was a big part of the Lions for a long time. We had The Roar with Jake Dilling on. It was a blast. I enjoyed every single one of you. Thanks for joining me, and peace out.
Peace, brother.